I'm sure we're gonna get some messages on that one.
Yeah, you should. You all know better. Yeah, you know better.
Hey guys, this is Falling Forward with the Ross sisters. This is my mom, Carol Ross. This is Christine. Of course, y'all know who she is.
Mother dearest is what I call her.
Yeah. Yeah, Mother dearest. We like to call her Carol too because it just tickles our heart.
You all just like to call me anything you can think of at the time, whatever the moment brings.
I like the word mom.
Whatever is sufficient at the time.
As long as it's not the name. Call me anything but that.
You probably did, but
yeah. So today we're going to talk about how mental illness affects the family unit. Unfortunately, I have some mental illnesses. I have bipolar.
Why is that unfortunate?
Why is it unfortunate? The struggle is real.
The struggle of life is real.
Yeah, but it's extra real when you are mentally not there.
How do you know?
Right, I've never been mentally not there, so I guess I can't.
Exactly.
So apparently, everybody's struggles are the same.
I didn't say that.
Okay, but so I've been diagnosed with bipolar and ADHD and anxiety. So we wasn't like when I was younger. There was not like anybody saying, hey, get her tested. Hey, something's wrong with this. Because I was the type of person.
Specifically, you're talking about for
African Americans.
No, but I'm talking about specifically, you're talking for ADHD.
For ADHD, yes.
Yeah.
Specifically ADHD, because I was the type of kid that would not stop talking, blurting out the answers. It didn't matter. I was all over the place. And later as an adult, I was diagnosed with ADHD. Then I realized when I was a kid, if I would have medicine and all that stuff, it might have been a little bit different or easier for me. Because I promise you, as an ADHD person, I used to think, okay, today at school, I'm going to be the best I can be. I'm not going to run my mouth. I'm not going to do this. And I get to school and I'm just like, I can't stop myself from talking. I got to talk. So I just blurt everything out. So
I do that right now.
Well, you need to work on that. That's what you need to do. Because I think all of us is ADHD.
I don't do that point because I'd be like, you know what? I'm really going to let Peaches handle this.
And she don't. You never do.
Sometimes
That's what happens when you the boss. Right?
No, because I'd be like, I'm just gonna let her take care of it, or I'm just gonna let Kat take care of it. I was like, you know what? But I gotten better because I'm just gonna say, I'll be like, this is what I think you should do. However, you could do what you want to do. But
Yeah.
You feel like
so what's the point of doing that? Say, I think you should. Your boss tells you, come here. Listen, audience. If your boss says, I think you should do this, are you really not gonna do that?
It ain't like I'm gonna be there when you do it.
They gonna find out about it?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, let's get back on the topic. Christine
This is the
distracted
story of
us.
my life.
That's the ADHD in us. Okay. So, and I realized that a lot of things, I was depressed young too, and I didn't even tell nobody. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on with me. I knew that I can't control my outbursts, my behaviors. I didn't have the skills. I can control it, but I didn't have the skills in order to control it. So I used to get in trouble at school a lot.
Well, but the funny thing is, from what I was remembering, of course, I'm 2 years younger than Corman. She used to get in trouble at school because they're like, she blurting out the answers, and the worst part is, she's right.
Yeah, that was the conference call I had, your daddy and I had with your teacher. We thinking things were not right, which they weren't, but we didn't know any better. And
Not right. I'm just like, yeah.
And we didn't know any better until she let us know how you always raising your hand, and wanting to answer everything. And also, as you got older, the teacher was really frustrated with you because whenever a subject was mentioned that you were interested in or just something new, you wanted to know more and more and more.
Okay.
And more.
That's
Let me tell you
weird,
something.
though. That's weird that
this
a
is
teacher
my
would complain about that.
Right. I told Mom, I said, why is he bringing up stuff in class that he don't know nothing about? How you gonna bring up a topic in class, don't know a lick about it, and then get mad when I ask you about it, and you get mad at me because you don't know the answer?
When you should never brought it up.
Yeah, that's ridiculous to me. I don't get it.
No. It's called rules, when you
That
go to...
ain't no rule.
No, it's lack of knowledge in that topic.
Girls, wait a minute.
Okay.
When you go to school, there's a certain setting that you have to do, just like when you go to church, just like when you go to the store. There are certain procedures that they have. And when you're learning something, that raising the hand, asking questions, yes, that's a part of it. But like the teacher said, it was just, you just kind of overdid it.
I don't appreciate that.
What does that mean, you overdid it?
Well, I mean, if
I have too much curiosity, in other words.
Well, on just one subject, I think it could have. Don't get me wrong. I think it could have been redirected where she gave you references, books. Told you go to the library or something. Told you to tell your parents to take you here, whatever. Because we didn't know everything what was going on in school.
Yes.
But it could have been redirected because I just think it was awesome that you wanted to know.
Yeah.
And that was Chinese, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't Chinese class.
Well,
You
it
did
was.
have
You
issues
did
in
have
Chinese
I
issues.
did
class.
have issues in Chinese class.
But I know,
did,
but
yeah.
there are certain instances. And then, Carmen, going back to you being, what you say, ADHD, you see that now when you were younger. And I'm not sure if your daddy ever mentioned it to you, but I never noticed that because you were not.
You didn't do that at home.
Yeah, or you wasn't such a bad kid or too mouthy. You were very obedient. But we also had an atmosphere where you all can speak your mind. So if you were to say something that was off track, we go, okay, that's Carmen. That's her opinion. Same with Christine. Everybody had their own opinions. So, but again, back to some mental illness. I don't know if that's why we missed some of the signs.
Well, back in my age when we were younger, mental ADHD wasn't a thing back then. It wasn't really a thing. People weren't getting help, especially if you're in the African American community. They will say, "Oh, this is a bad kid. This kid needs attention. This kid needs this." No, this kid has some issues that they need help with. And so I feel that, like, when I was a kid, I felt that medicine could have really helped me. I learned how to do things on my own to kind of counteract it, but I learned that just by myself, not with professional help.
But I think with that being said, too, is one, what I'm hearing in general for teachers at times, they like to, I don't want to say they like to, I don't want to overgeneralize. I love my teachers. I have plenty of friends that are teachers, but some people in general like to blame others for their lack of skill. So and I say that because it's like you're getting mad because she's overboard in school with being curious about information. Of course, like Mama said, there is a way to redirect that. But also, there is going to be a dichotomy between home life and school because the freedom allowed at home, being able to play, being able to work off your energy as someone who is ADHD is more acceptable. How we do school within our culture is in a sedentary way in which people just got to sit there and listen. My butt is 39 years old and you got a max 20 minutes of which you guys, and it really, and that's specifically if I just have to sit there and listen.
That reminds me of church. Churches are long. When I go to find a church, I try to find the 45-minute church services.
Amen.
Because,
Amen.
your attention span is only a certain amount.
It's really only 20 minutes for most adults.
Okay. Now let's get back to this. I have questions concerning Carmen, Christine too, but mainly Carmen. Why did you act so different at home than you did in school?
Because I had to sit still the whole school.
Oh, okay. Whereas,
yeah. Yeah, I'm supposed to, as an ADHD person, sit down and be quiet and just.
Do you also realize, or do you think that you did some things out of spite?
No, I got back out the teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
for instance,
remember writing so little.
Yeah, like one of my teachers. I was a smart kid. I still think I'm smart.
Yeah.
But one of my teachers, I wrote the smallest, really itty bitty handwriting, wrote a whole essay in this little itty bitty handwriting, and she gave me a D. And they had to talk. She's like, she writes too small. I can't see it.
You can't give somebody a D for that reason.
Right. She gave me a D in that class.
Well, if you can't read it or understand
you can get a magnifying glass, because the reality of it is you might not have glasses. Is it really you can't read it? Get a magnifying
She even had glasses
glass.
on.
Okay, but the reason Carmen did that was why?
Because I was a kid.
Corbin, you was being mean.
Yeah, I
you
was.
did it intentionally.
Yes, I intentionally did because I didn't like the teacher.
Okay.
Yes. I remember when Mama got called when I flipped the teacher off.
Yeah.
And I did not flip her off. I just showed. I said, "This is Pinky. This is this." I don't remember what that one is.
It was
And then I popped that
something
one up, and this, and then she's like, oh, "You flipped me off." And no, this is just my middle finger. And that didn't go well, so my mom got called.
Yeah, we
Well,
got called
and
a
then
lot.
when she was in Chinese class, it was something like she had to do a poster talking about. I think it was the language is like feng pai or something like that. It was basically somebody passing gas.
Well, we were supposed to do assignment about China and the culture of China, and my stupid butt, as a young person, okay, drew a poster of this lady bending over Putin, the United States, out of her butt. And then I did the, not United States, I'm sorry, the world. And it had the world map and everything like that. And it's just Putin the world. And I got sent to the office.
Well,
I wasn't able to participate.
But the point of the poster was people were discounting China and Chinese culture
because-
when they have billions of people
It's like,
there.
what, one out of every 3 people or something like that, don't quote me, is Asian.
Uh-huh.
So I just wanted to say the whole world. But, the farting thing was a little extra.
Well, but it makes things interesting.
Here we go.
but it
You all
gets
taking up
attention.
for each other.
But it
Always.
ain't taking up for each other realistically.
Justifying
It-
what is it?
Well, but the thing about it is, flatulence is the natural part of life.
Everybody farts.
Yeah, you
So
fart.
the subject
dog
of
farts.
the subject was
It was highlighting a point.
Yeah, that everybody farts. And 1 out of every 3 people are
Okay.
Chinese.
And most of the people farting are Asian.
I guess because there's more
Christ down. Come on.
Okay.
Did we cut?
Okay,
Okay,
down
Carmen,
and dirty.
let's just get down to
Okay,
the
I'm sorry.
family.
My bad. She about to get me in tears. That's ridiculous. I'm sure we're gonna get some messages on that one.
Yeah, you should. You know, you all know better. Yeah, you know better. But again, the how the family is affected by it. It could be something very hard, but then just as easy to deal with. Hard, yeah, because of where a mindset is. I'm gonna stay out all night. I'm gonna party all night. I'm gonna smoke.
when she
I'm
was
gonna.
in her
Yeah, in my
Right.
20s, I was wild.
She was off the
I
chain.
was off the chain. And one of the things too, because when you're a depressed individual and you're sad and you got all this thing going on, I know that my mom took the grunt of a lot of my mental illness, and I praise God for her every day because she was the safe place. I know that she would love me no matter what, but I was going through it, and I still have to work on my anger and how I present myself and how I treat my mom. And it's not that because I don't like her or don't love her. I love her a lot. However, sometimes my mental illness comes out outwardly on my mom, and she's just the scapegoat, I guess, of it or whatever. And it's wrong. But I don't know if you guys notice that other people with mental illness, like you're going to be, it's sad to say that you're sometimes can be meaner to your family than you are to somebody else.
And that's not even a mental illness thing. That's just that's a proximity thing. Like, I could for instance, some people here right now, they might not ever see me mean, angry, or whatever because I don't see you like that. But if I see you every day,
You're gonna
it
see
would
me
be
angry.
inauthentic for you not to see any other emotion from me. But I think the other point when we discuss the idea of mental illness is destigmatizing it. Because for me, and as a licensed marriage and family therapist, I'm not into pathology like that as far as pathologizing what is wrong with this person mentally. Sometimes that is important depending on the severity of the diagnosis, but in all reality, this is your life. It's just like, okay, your parents passed away. This is your life. And I'm not saying that in a dismissive way, but each individual person has to learn to deal with their life and what was put in their life. A trauma for you and a trauma for me are 2 different traumas. And how they impact me are 2 different traumas.
And we can even experience the same trauma and come out of it different ways.
Exactly.
Well, going back to the fact that you all talked about mental illness not necessarily being wrong or something that shouldn't happen. It, again, like you said, it does happen, and I have to admit, from the accomplishments that you have made, Carmen, I don't know if I would want you any other way. I mean, because you have went from being raw pretty much by yourself to getting what we call support, you know. But I mean, in between all of that, you conquered all kinds of musical instruments. You have a beautiful voice. You just hold. You went to school, and you have accomplished more than most normal people have. I mean, for you to go
Normal.
through,
Yeah, normal, because there's
yeah,
not a word for normal.
yeah,
So
for
it's
you
a
to
lie.
get through what you went and just keep on trying, you know, I learned a lot.
And that's a big thing to hear, because when I was suffering through my mental illness, I was actually on Social Security. It was so severe. And what I had to do was I had to get help, take my meds finally, start taking those every day. I might miss them here and there if I forget. But then, see your therapist and do whatever you got to do. I even went to the mental institutions because I needed the help. I recognized that there was something wrong with me. And if it wasn't for everything that I went through in the support of my family, I would not be as successful as I am today. I wouldn't be with my master's degree thinking about, hey, what I'm going to do for my PhD. So mental illness is not just it. There's something above it. So once you get to the point where you can accept that you are mentally ill, if you are, you got to do the steps that's going to make you better. You got to put yourself in situations that's going to make you feel better. However, getting help is hard, because if you are extremely depressed, and if you're not going to kill somebody or suicidal, they're not going to give you help in no facility. However, depression is beyond that. It's beyond trying to harm someone, So sometimes you got to sadly manipulate the system if you need help. Hey, I'm unstable with my meds, and I'm not saying don't do this. I'm not saying to manipulate the system. However, the system is not set up properly to help people like us who have mental illness.
So that you can,
so we can
get
thrive.
that help.
Right.
Like, and before I go off the deep end, I should be able to get the help that I need immediately,
Right.
so
Instead
that
when
I
I'm
don't
there.
get there. Exactly.
So they rather just take me in when I'm trying to kill myself. But when I'm saying, hey, something ain't right with me, I really need help, and I know, and
it's
I'm not
gonna lead
suicidal
to
yet,
that,
but I could be there. They wait till you take that jump. And luckily, I was alive after that jump.
Yeah. She didn't literally jump though.
No, yeah,
you
it
guys,
wasn't.
so I just want to
I don't
say
like
that.
heights.
Like
I'm
other
scared.
other things have happened, but I just
Yeah.
want to let y'all know it's not a literal
Right.
jump. And I think with that being said, that is one of the failures of the mental health system, is that you should be able to identify, just like going to any other doctor, that I need help right now. There needs to be a mental health emergency room in which I can get help right now for where I am, especially when I have then developed the skills to identify how I am feeling and how things are working for me. And that's, and keep in mind, in the interest of normalizing this experience, it's just like, when you're reaching a point of overwhelm. So when I'm reaching a point of overwhelm, I shouldn't be waiting to the point that I'm overwhelmed for me to fix it.
Yeah.
I need to deal with those pieces that I know are coming
Well,
to alleviate that the full effect.
yeah, it was analysis was brought to me about mental health is mental illness is, if you had a broken bone, what would you do? And it was sort of like same thing if you have a broken brain.
Mine, yeah.
What would you do? I mean, you wouldn't let that arm dangle until it decides to get well.
But the stigma behind it, people don't say, oh man, I got to see my therapist, or oh, I'm seeing a therapist. We need to normalize therapy, because therapy is so beneficial to so many people. I know that sometimes people don't got nowhere to turn. They don't got a best friend. They ain't got someone that they can confide in. They're struggling on their own and don't know how to do it on their own, and they need to get the help. So I think help is important, and reaching out to your loved ones is definitely important.
And then being available to that is the other piece, because I feel like a lot of families at times want to be in this position that, well, that's just their thing. There's no such thing as it's just your thing, because when something happens with your thing, then I'm feeling some kind of way about it, because you're a part of my family, a part of my system. And it again goes back to normalizing this experience. When someone has cancer, we don't like, what's wrong with them? Why are they doing
Pray
that?
it away.
Blah, blah.
Don't take any medicine.
Yeah, exactly. No, you need to fight through that and help them, because they don't always have that energy. When somebody has cancer, it's like, you can do this.
Yeah.
You can fight through this. You can
Right.
push through this. What is it that you need me to do in order to help assist you in doing this? And our families have to start operating like families and being there in a way to support one another. And support looks different depending on the situation
Right.
it is
Right.
you're in, but we have to be there to support people, because even if you don't have a lasting or long-term mental health issue, everyone, every single person on this earth has dealt with something that is within the realm of mental health. That is whether you don't feel like you're attractive today.
Confidence,
Confidence.
self-esteem.
That is whether I had struggles today, for instance, not me personally, that I was feeling a little anxious. And I have had that. I don't suffer from regular anxiety, but every once in a while I get anxious about something.
That's
I don't need to be medicated for, because everybody has
It's part of
experience.
life.
So, and I feel like when we first normalize that everyone in their life will suffer for something that is considered mental health, which also, based on another episode we have had, includes grief.
Includes grief. And a lot of people think they can do it on their own. And I know I said this in one of the reels. You're not, Christine said this too. We're not meant to do this alone. So we definitely need to reach out, even if there's to the national hotline. I think it's 988 for the emergency crisis hotline in the United States.
Yeah,
if you just
national,
dial that on your phone, you got the rape crisis. If something's happened to you, you got the human trafficking stuff. So like there's resources out there to help you get through it. However, it's so hard if you don't have a family unit. It's so hard that if you don't have a supportive family unit, and it doesn't even have to be your blood family unit. You have to surround yourself by people who care for you in order to build you up. Because I know when I'm depressed, I can't get myself out of bed. But if mama comes, get out of bed, leave me alone, because I have an attitude about it.
And
That's what I need. I need that push. Hey, you got to get up and eat. Hey, you got to get up and take a shower. I mean, I shower every day, thanks to my girlfriend. I'm just like, but anyway, yeah.
Well, I was gonna add on to that. The support that you get from the family, I think is really, or anybody, like you said, is really, really important. And to what just like anything, you don't know what to say. Sometimes when we first lived together as adults, it was tough. We had to dial Chrissy's number many times, but we worked it out. Well, simply because we wanted to, first of all, but then we understood what was bringing the problem. And it wasn't, you weren't bringing the problem to me, I wasn't bringing it to you, we were doing it ourselves. Where we were reacting to things and to each other at that particular time. Just like with Christine, we didn't call her early in the morning.
Yeah, but she's mean in the morning.
"Oh,
well, the thing
good
about
morning,
it is,
Christine.
I'm not up
What's
early
so
in the
good
morning."
about it?"
Whatever.
Yeah, she-
But anyway, but just understanding where people come from, even your family, even your kids, even your mom.
Yeah.
No,
I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And you guys, this is going to be a continual conversation within this show, because mental health is health. It's
It is
health
health.
care, and we need to see it as what it is, and we need to see people for who they are. That is not their identity, it's just a piece of you. So we hopefully will have other, and I know we will, because I'm a mental health professional, we'll have other conversations about this. So we would appreciate any comments that you want to put in our chat about this, and any other topics you guys might want us to cover. But we want to thank you so much for joining us today. We're Falling Forward with the Ross Sisters. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye. Thank you, guys.